Good day, welcome to a short video as today we are going to discuss budgeting and savings, which are two very important principles in your financial wellness journey. The first question you might ask yourself is, why is money important to you? We all have different importance of money. Some of us would like to go on luxury holidays. Some of us sees money as a way to get married. And some of us will use our money for our families. By virtue of these different pictures, we are again asking you, why is money important to you? Money buys a lifestyle, and this is what you need to develop with your money. There are three types of money users. On the left side of the scale, you have people, unfortunately, most of them, whose income is less than their expenses. And every single month, this person will give out more money than what he receives. We also have quite a lot of people in our society in the middle circle, where your income is equal to your expenses. What comes in just simply goes out again on the other side. But the most important circle is the last circle, and this is where you must work towards. That is where your income exceeds your expenses at all times. Now, how do we move from the first circle to the third circle? How do we move from group 1 and 2 to group 3? Because in that third group, that is ideally where we all have to be. And the answer is actually very simple. 1, you've got to increase your income. You've got to get more streams of income. And on the other side, you have to bring your expenses down. This is the plain and simple answer on how do you get to group 3, where your income is always more than your expenses. There are also some serious financial pitfalls along the way of your financial wellness journey. Most of us think retirement is very far away and we don't need to save for that far away date in the future. But this is where we are all wrong. We need to start saving for that future date very, very early in our lives. And we then should not withdraw those monies that are earmarked for our retirement, because there are consequences when you early withdraw your retirement monies. Not only will you pay more tax, but you will have that lack of discipline to start saving again. So we encourage you, from the first day you start working, have some money available that you save towards your future, and leave it there. Leave the future in the future. The next financial pitfall that most of us battle with is the fact that we do not have an emergency fund in place. We do not have an extra buffer of money for maybe paying your excess on your car. And this is quite an important financial pitfall. You need to, from the first day that you start working, save and put money away for your emergency fund and have that in place all the time. Another financial pitfall is, do you have a budget in place? But most importantly, if you have the budget in place, are you following that budget religiously? Or are you just a happy-go-lucky spender on your way to financial freedom and wealth? Very, very important that you have to have a budget in place. Another financial pitfall, and I know we all love good coffee, is the latte effect. And I'm going to challenge you today. What does your coffee or your takeaway really cost you per day? Let's take an average of 50 Rand a day and you work 5 days a week. You will be spending 250 Rand per week on your coffee or your takeaway at lunch. Well, if you take that 250 Rand a week and you times it by the 52 weeks that's in a year, you would have spent 13,000 Rand in that year just on your coffee. If you've invested that 13,000 Rand for 20 years at just a 10% return in a 6% inflation environment, can you believe it? Your investment will be worth over R1,000,000 in the 20 years. Maybe you should go back to your budget and revisit your coffees or your takeaways that you buy every day. Another terrible financial pitfall is the Peter Paul effect. Well, believe it or not, but there are people that's using one credit card to pay off the other credit card. Unfortunately, this is a vicious circle that you will never ever get out of. You need to seriously cut your credit cards up if you are in the Peter Paul effect. This financial pitfall, the longer you stay in it, the more it will keep you there, and you will never reach your financial goals. This is quite a critical financial pitfall, as most of us are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we're not living the life or the lifestyle with our current income. If you have a salary and an income of the left picture, you should live according to that, and not according to the picture on the right. Keeping up with the Joneses is certainly not helping and assisting you in your own financial wellness journey. Write your own story. Write your own financial wellness book, not the one of your neighbor. There is also a lot of people that actually get themselves in this financial pitfall, living on the edge, where they do not take any discipline or cognizance in their financial matters, and they literally sit on that edge the whole time. This gentleman in this photo doesn't even have a parachute. If he falls off this cliff, well, I think you know the answer. Do not live on the edge with your finances. Ensure that you're in a different position. We are going to talk a little bit about budgeting basics, because this is a critical component of your financial wellness journey. You have to have a budget. The first thing you need to ask yourself is, where is my money coming from? You can have different types of incomes, different income streams, and go and write that down so that you know exactly what is coming in every month. You see, finances is like following a GPS. You need to know where you are, and that's what the budget is doing for you. Your budget is giving you the picture of where you are. You will never be able to go forward if you don't know where you are. So you need to know, where is my money coming from? The next step, step 2, would be, where is my money going? Use this slide that we have created for you, but write down month by month of what you are spending your money on. There are also some savings. You will see there on the right hand side, you need to save for your emergency fund, regular savings and investments. And then there's always the other part that we can't accurately budget for. But once you have got all your total expenses written down month by month, you will then be able to add it all up. When you now compare your income against your expenses, do you have a monthly surplus, or will you be needing another job? Was this the result that you were expecting? Because you see, without this money mirror, without this budget, you will never know how much is coming in and how much is going out. And then step 4, once you have seen the result, you certainly need to make those adjustments if needed. If you're spending more than what you're bringing in, you will certainly have to spend less and increase your income. Now that we've looked at your budget and we now see that there is some money left for you to save, let's talk about savings. We suggest that you look at the 3-bucket approach. Bucket 1 is your emergency bucket. This is the bucket that you will know what your emergencies are, but they are, for instance, the co-payment should you crash your car. They are maybe 3 months of salary that you want to save should you lose your job. and you can define your own emergency bucket. So your first sets of money that you start saving is you save for your emergency bucket. Once that bucket is filled up, we then move on to bucket 2. This is the savings that will create you growth, that your monies will grow for later, maybe a retirement annuity, unit trusts, etc. Only by the time that your growth bucket is full, we will take 1/3 of that growth bucket and move that into your dream bucket. And that is the money that you use for your fancy holidays or your dreams or starting up a new business. Unfortunately, you cannot start with bucket 3. You cannot just put money in your dream bucket and spend all of that if you do not have an emergency bucket as well as a growth bucket in place. See, most people do that. They use their money on their dreams but do not take care of the basics, of the emergencies and the savings. There are also some things that will threaten your savings, and this is where you really need to speak to somebody that sells insurance, because you can save on the one side and then life's catastrophes can happen to you, like on the pictures displayed. For these catastrophes, you can take out short-term insurance. In one of these events, the insurer will rather pay the damages than you needing to go into your savings bucket. There are also death, which is threatening one's savings, and it is very important that you also look at life cover or life insurance. Should an event like that happen, that your family have got enough cover and they do not have to go back into their savings to sustain their lifestyle. When you sit with your financial advisor, you must certainly discuss all the details of having adequate life cover in place and adequate funeral cover in place, so that this event will not threaten your savings that you have built up through the years. Another thing that can threaten your savings is when we fall ill. This is a costly exercise in South Africa, and private healthcare is very expensive. You can purchase yourself medical insurance. In the event of an illness or an operation, the insurance will pay rather than taking your savings out of the buckets. Through all my years as a financial planner, I've developed a little bicycle, and I'm going to, in 2 minutes, explain that to you. To become financially well is certainly a journey. This is not something that happens overnight. It takes a lot of discipline and a lot of thought for you to become financially free. At the top of the slide, you will see it's you, but you do need to take hands with a trusted financial planner. This bicycle needs a saddle, and without the saddle, it will be a very, very uneasy bicycle to ride. You have to have a budget, your medical insurance, your short-term insurance, you have to have a proper estate planning, have to have a will, and all of those things adds to the bicycle saddle. Only when the saddle is in place we can start talking about the rest of your bicycle. You will see that the small circle are those events that happens to us, the death, the disabilities, and that is the smallest wheel. But if you're not insured for that properly, you will then use your money in your savings wheel, which we have explained in the previous slides. But your biggest wheel that you will invest in your entire life will be your investment wheel. You will see there are many different spikes, many different products, many different ways that you can save. And this is where you do need a financial planner to help you to choose some of these products in order to help you to reach your retirement or your financial goals safely. We wish you well on your financial wellness journey, and we hope that you are one of those people that will change the statistics by looking after your money carefully. Thank you for watching this video, and have a great day.